What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel. We're back with another transfer update, and Celtic have made their first official summer signing, and it comes in the shape of 22-year-old Finnish goalkeeper Viljami Sinisalo. He comes from Aston Villa, and a deal believed to be around £1 million. He's going to sign a 5-year contract, and while it's not official, we have seen pictures today circulating from the team boarding the plane for the pre-season tour in America. He was pictured with the squad in the Celtic training kit, so he must have signed the contract, and it's just a matter of time before the club officially unveil him. They might be waiting on Kasper Schmeichel completing as well to unveil them together, and we'll talk about, as we go through the video, the other transfer news reports that have come through in the last couple of days. But we'll start with Sinisalo. First of all, I hope I'm not butchering the pronunciation there. He came to Aston Villa from Finland in 2018. He's had loan spells at Burton Albion, Ayr United and Exeter City last season. Played just over 100 first team games. By all accounts, a good shot stopper. I've seen some clips of him. I think his shot stopping is pretty decent. Maybe other areas of his game which are raw and still need development, which you would expect for a young goalkeeper. But by all accounts, the plan is that he is the understudy to Kasper Schmeichel, and he can learn from him and develop his game, and then maybe in a couple of years' time, he's in a better position to try and be the Celtic number one. I think it's low risk from the club at £1 million. As I say, I'd expect him to sign at least a 4 or 5 year deal whenever it gets confirmed. I think that's low risk. I think it's a sensible move from the club. When we were talking to Kenny the other day about the arrival of Schmeichel, I actually thought there could be a situation where the club don't add another goalkeeper, and we go with Scott Bain and maybe Josh Clark or Toby for the youth team from the B team. They become the third choice goalkeeper. But I'm actually really pleased we've went and brought in another goalkeeper along with Kasper Schmeichel, who, it is believed, done his medical today in Italy and will fly to the USA to join his teammates on Thursday. So news of his signing should also be confirmed by the club in the next 24, 48 hours as well. And all of a sudden, the goalkeeper situation looks like it is going to get sorted, and it's good that it's going to be concluded right at the start of that pre-season tour of the US, because you didn't want a scenario where someone was joining halfway through that, or if the worst came to the worst, they were going to have to join after it. We're getting closer and closer to the season starting, but I think not just on the pitch in terms of getting the training time with our new teammates and for the goalkeepers. We heard Joe Hart last season talking about how important that goalkeeping unit is, with the 3 first team goalkeepers and the goalkeeping coach. So going to be really good, valuable time for Schmeichel and Sinisalo to get to know Stevie Woods and train together, but also get to know their teammates off the pitch as well. And I'm sure pre-season tours and somewhere like America are brilliant for bonding and getting to know your new teammates. So it's really good they've got that. It looks like they've got that sorted right at the start of the tour, and then we can tick goalkeeper off and move down the list. And in other news last night, Paulo Bernardo, the deal is said to be agreed with Benfica at £3.5 million. There's obviously been numerous stories in Portugal over the last 2 or 3 weeks about a transfer fee being worked on and then being agreed, and then it getting to personal terms and stuff, but it hasn't really progressed very quickly. But again, last night, Stephen McGowan reporting here in Scotland, among others, that the club have agreed a £3.5 million deal for Bernardo. I would expect there to be some add-ons in there, and if not, then I would certainly expect there to be a healthy sell-on if he ever does come to leave Celtic for a profit. But hopefully in the next few days, certainly by the end of this week, we can get Paulo Bernardo over the line on a permanent basis as well. I think we need to add him. We covered it in the videos last week. I think we need him in midfield. We're all waiting with bated breath on the situation with Matt O'Reilly, who was on the plane today, travelling to the US, which is good news. But Juventus, the latest club to be linked with him. Atalanta still there as well, who I think are said to be preparing a third bid. There was no big news story made out of their second bid, if indeed they did make one. But lots of clubs interested in O'Reilly. If we lose him, I think we need to add another midfield player. But again, the quicker we can get Bernardo in the door and get him there with his teammates, hopefully he can join for some of these pre-season games coming up in the US. Obviously, we played DC United on Sunday morning here, Scottish time, and then we've got Man City and Chelsea as well over the course of the next 10 days or so before we come back to Scotland to complete that build-up for the opening league game against Kilmarnock. So Bernardo, personal terms being agreed, hopefully a medical soon, and hopefully that can be concluded by the end of this week as well. And as I say, we'll keep tabs on the Matt O'Reilly situation. No doubt with the number of clubs that are interested in him, we are going to lose him at some point. I'd actually like us to lose him if we're going to have to lose him sooner rather than later. I don't want him to leave in the last couple of days of August and then we don't really have time to replace him properly. So that will rumble on in the background, no doubt. And if we get any big news, we'll be back to talk about it. So Sinisalo's in the door. Schmeichel looks like he'll be joining him, and hopefully Paulo Bernardo isn't too far away as well. We've even been linked with a wide player from Royal Antwerp in the last couple of days as well. I'm not going to go too much into depth about him. I think there's so many players linked, and I want to wait until it gets more concrete before digging in and doing a bunch of research, because these names fly about like crazy, and so often they don't come to anything. But it's good to hear us linked with a wide player. I think it's good that the ball's rolling. You can feel a different energy to the transfer news this week. It's almost a domino effect. Once one deal falls, they all start to come in after each other. O has officially left and signed for Genk. There was rumours of a €5 million price tag, and that deal, I think it's much lower than that. I think it looks like €2.7 million plus some performance-based add-ons. Roughly, we're getting our money back for him, which I think makes sense. I don't think he'd done anything in his time at Celtic to justify his getting a healthy profit, but I think it's best to cut our ties, and if we haven't lost any money on it, then that's absolutely fine. But it does leave the striker situation where we've only got Kyogo as the natural out-and-out striker. I know that at times in pre-seasons gone by, we've seen Dyson Maeda play through the middle, but Kyogo is the only out-and-out striker. The Adam Idah rumours rumble on. I know he posted on Instagram today a very cryptic airport photo of him boarding a plane and it taking off. I think he's just going to Belgium with Norwich and probably trying to bait us into thinking he's travelling up to Glasgow. Again, we're in silly season where people have got stills up the flight radars of all these private planes and stuff, but I think it's still quiet on the Adam Idah front. I expect us to get that deal done at some stage, and I'd like it to be sooner rather than later. But again, we'll wait and see for any news on that. In terms of other outgoings, I think Siegrist is the only one who's imminent. Again, you're only going off the basis of social media posts where it looks like he's said bye to some people. You would expect to lose him, and with Sinisalo and Schmeichel coming in, as I say, that is the goalkeeping situation absolutely sorted for the foreseeable future. So there you go. That's the rundown of the latest transfer news. When we get any more, we'll be back with you. Like this video, comment with your own thoughts on the deals that are being done and about to be confirmed below, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.